are back with the Buffalonian Podcast. I'm Joe Callie. As always, I'm joined by none other than Dom Loss. And Dom, it's betting on the Bills early in the week on a Wednesday. A little weird feeling here, but it is Thanksgiving Eve. So
Wacky Wednesday.
Wacky Wednesday. Yes. No Funky Friday fun time.
I knew I was going to get you to say that.
Yeah. But hopefully, if you're listening to this either tonight when it's posted or on Thanksgiving Day or even after, hope you had a happy holiday. We're getting into the Christmas commercials already and holiday commercials, so we're diving face first. Yeah, we're diving face first at this point. So, but Bills play the 49ers prime time at Highmark Stadium, December 1st. Good game. I'm excited for it. McCaffrey's back. That team, maybe I still don't think they're fully healthy. Brock Purdy might not play. We don't know what's going on there exactly, unless there was some breaking news today that I just hadn't seen, and Dom will fill me in on. But it's a 49ers team that looks pretty beatable. They caught the injury bug pretty hard this season. It's very unfortunate to see. But, Dom, before we dive into the nitty-gritty here, 49ers rolling into Buffalo, I mean, you're going to be up in the stat booth. What are we thinking here? How are we feeling?
The game is definitely, not as glamorous as it was, I think, when the NFL first announced this is going to be a Sunday night football game, literally the Sunday night after Thanksgiving to end the holiday, the holiday week.
Right.
Yeah. So obviously the Niners have some injuries. They've underperformed. They're 5-6. We don't know if Brock Purdy's going to play at this moment. They said he did some white throwing, but I don't know, man. Like, obviously his shoulder is banged up, so we'll see if he actually plays. Trent Williams has missed last game with the ankle injury. We don't even know if he's going to play. Fred Warner, literally as 10 minutes before we hopped on here, admitted that he's been playing since week 4 with a fractured ankle.
Oh my God!
Yeah, there's someone who has broken their ankle, and Joe who also has a LBI. The Achilles. That's tough. And obviously they lost.
Like Boom AJ in the wrestling ring. You see, broke his foot mid-match and continued to fight on. Yeah. They bring the boom.
I was actually thinking about that, but I was going to mention that. But gosh. But Bosa, obviously his hip injury as well. He missed last week. Again, don't really know. That's kind of the unfortunate part about like recording it earlier in the week, is that we don't really fully know if people are going to play.
Yeah. We're not going to have a definitive.
With the Bills, it seems like Spencer Brown's going to come back and play. He was limited, but he's probably all good. Cooper, obviously, there was no comment on him, so I assume he's better with the wrist.
No
injury.
news is good news in that scenario.
Yeah,
I feel like.
Coleman did play. Practice, limited. They said that he was catching balls, didn't have a brace on, so he's looking on the up and up. Unfortunately, Dalton Kincaid was out with the knee. Kind of feels like he's obviously, I think, going to miss this game, but kind of seems like he's going to miss a couple more weeks, maybe. I don't know. That's kind of
it's a bro moment.
PCL, they said it's a 2 to 4 week injury. What week 1 Chiefs, week 2 bye. This is week 3. Maybe he misses another week, and maybe they'd be a little more cautious with the Bills potentially clinching the AFC East this weekend. If Miami loses to Green Bay on Thursday at night and Thanksgiving tomorrow, and the Bills take care of business on Sunday night, we will be division champs for the 5th year in a row, which I don't take for granted.
No,
I think if there's any.
Just a T-shirt though, as Josh Allen says.
Had a T-shirt game, but Matt Milano, could he be back? We don't know. Practice today. They don't have to activate him before. They don't have to activate him and play him for the game, so they still have another kind of week to play with that. But I doubt he does. But potentially a snow game as well. So I don't know. Very, very interesting game. Obviously, it's very uncertain for all the injuries, what's really going to happen. But I think the fact of how inconsistent San Francisco has been, even with all their injuries, now potentially starting Brandon Allen again, lost down the Daniel Jones sweepstakes to Minnesota. So they might get Brandon Allen again. The Bills will. And McCaffrey just hasn't had the top-end gear. Like they do the stats of the next-gen stats, and his top-end speeds have not been what it was in recent years, probably because of the injury.
He's still dealing with double Achilles tendonitis. Like, that doesn't just go away and he's completely free. It's going to linger.
And we'll see if Trent and Bosa play, but definitely should be an interesting game. It's a primetime game.
It is. It's definitely fit for like you said, prime time. So I can't really complain. But let's think now into the Bills' offense here. What do they need to do to get this job done? That's simple. I mean, it's the same message as every week. Start quick. Let Josh Allen cook. Let the running backs by committee go through. I know they have a great defensive line. We might see a good Josh Allen stiff arm here. Baker Mayfield set the tone a couple weeks ago with Nick Bosa or Joey Bosa, whichever one it is, stiff arming him and completing a pass to Rashad White. Pretty remarkable play by him, but it's a defensive line that's going to get after the quarterback. Bosa is going. He's a game wrecker. He'll get back there. He'll try and make life miserable, especially this. Correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm trying to visualize in my mind, but dealing with or early onset dyslexia for some reason. Is he lining up with where Spencer Brown would be coming back to?
He lines up both ways.
Both ways?
Against left tackle, but it matters if he plays. Again, even if he plays, he's going to be limited with that like hip pointer. Obviously, they have Leonard Floyd, but those are like they don't. They lost Javon Hargrave for the season. They're weak in the defensive tackle position. They have two good edge rushers in Floyd and Bosa. Again, question mark at Bosa plays, but that's why it's nice to have Spencer Brown back because both those guys play. You have your tackles. You really feel like you can handle business.
I mean, we've seen firsthand though. Leonard Floyd can also get back there and take care of business too.
Sure, I mean he's a good player as well, and obviously kind of Fred Warner kind of exposing the fact that he's playing on one leg. They have a couple nice young safeties. Their DBs are solid, but I think you could really. We saw Green Bay complete a lot of balls downfield. Obviously, Christian Watson dropped one touchdown.
Oh my God!
Dobbs had a couple of big catches. You saw Jaden Reed. You saw a tight end screen to Tucker Kraft. And obviously, Josh Jacobs ran wild, but with 3 touchdowns, and they really were able to run the ball and push the Niners around up front. So I think that's kind of the formula for the Bills' offense is, hey, like, especially if Purdy doesn't play, like, don't give the San Francisco off. Make San Francisco go 80 yards, 70 yards instead of 40 yards. Like, don't, be sound. I mean, San Francisco has one of the worst special teams units in the NFL. Like, they got to take advantage there.
I know.
And again, with on the offensive side of the ball, like, don't turn the ball over, play smart, and dominate the line of scrimmage. You could dominate this team up front and really take time off the clock and kind of do what they did a little bit to the Chiefs with their long sustaining drives of 10, 12 plays, 6 minutes off the clock, touchdown. Like, I think we'll see a lot of that. I also think we might see a big player too, especially if Keon coming back, Amari coming back, Khalil Shakir obviously in the lineup as well. With not Kincaid, but Knox is still a suitable receiving tight end. I think we could see a couple of big plays down the field as well.
I'd love to see a couple deep shots. I mean, it's something Allen's. What'd you say?
A potential snow game.
Potential snow game. Hopefully it's nothing like Bills Colts from 2017 because that was they couldn't even show the field goal angle properly. They had to do it from just the side angle and tell you if it went in or not. But no, snow is coming and it has potential to be a nice game with a beautiful scene. It always is in the snow in Orchard Park, but hopefully nothing too bad. But yeah, I agree with you. I think they won't have too much trouble. Like to see a wide receiver by committee getting downfield, especially like you said, Amari Cooper being relatively healthy again, and maybe even Keon Coleman playing in whatever limited role he might play in as he's coming back from injury. But
Curtis Samuel excited for that one too.
Yeah, keep him in the lineup. Mac Hollins, I mean, he's learning how to track deep balls. He's become pretty good. So I'd like to see more out of him, and of course, none other than Dawson Knox, like you mentioned. He's still there. Don't forget, the Bills still have a big tight end. So even without Dalton Kincaid. Defensively, though, I mean, depending on, like you said, Brock Purdy might not play at this point in the week when we're recording this. We don't know. McCaffrey doesn't have the speed that he has in years past because he's, again, dealing with double Achilles tendonitis. It's just not how that works. He doesn't just bounce back immediately. It's a long road from someone who had Achilles tendonitis, which turned into Achilles tendinosis on one of my legs, my right leg. Not great. So it probably going to take some time for him to get back in the swing of things. Still can't discount Christian McCaffrey, though. He's able to blow through the line. Don't get me wrong. He might not be downhill running like he was before, but he'll be there on those fourth downs, third downs to really push through the line if they go for it. And who's their backup quarterback? Is it the Pastronaut still? Who is it?
For who?
San Francisco. Who's their backup quarterback?
Brandon Allen.
Brandon Allen, that's right. Okay, so nothing to worry about there either. So I don't know. I think it's just put pressure on whatever quarterback it's going to be and maintain C-Mac. And, I think it's going to be an upfront game, kind of how Kansas City was. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at, I would say I'm a little concerned with the fact of we've seen, when Miami came here to Buffalo, they had a really good offensive game plan and scored 28 points, had some big runs, a couple nice pass plays, and Mike McDaniel, who was he under, what coaching tree is he under? The Shanahan tree, right? So I'll be interested to see kind of, this is a little bit of a different test because McCaffrey I don't think is as explosive as Achane is right now. I actually think the Dolphins offensive line is better than the current Niners offensive line, and the Dolphins receiving group is better currently than the Niners receiving group. So it's a little bit of a lesser scale, but it'd be interesting to see, do those same weaknesses kind of get exposed a little bit. But if you look at the Niners team, like the offensive line, like Trent Williams is really good, right? One of the best probably the best left tackle in the game. We'll see if he even plays. Yeah. And they have Pooney, the rookie, the right guard, who's good. And then all three of the center, left guard, and right tackle are weaknesses. I mean, the center is their center, Jake Brendel, is one of the worst centers. We're graded as the worst center in the NFL. So I think this could be a big game for the interior defensive line for the Bills, make some negative plays in the run game, get after the quarterback. Again, I think the key for this Bills defense is hey, let's take the football away. Let's dominate the game. Let's cause some negative plays, sacks, TFLs, turnovers. Make the Niners live in second, third, and long. Don't let them stay on schedule, make negative plays, and win on later downs. And who knows, maybe they get a score on themselves. So Kittle's going to be a problem. They've done a really good job this year on tight ends, right? They did, Kelsey 2 for 8. Mark Andrews, I think I'll shut up, but I always feel like that's kind of a weird game to kind of quote to because they got dominated.
Yeah.
And then obviously McBride had a so-so game as well, and he's an elite tight end. So they've done well against the elite tight ends. It'll be interesting to see what they do against Kittle. Debo, maybe not as good as the receiver, but he's definitely a playmaker with those end arounds, the screens. The Bills suck at running screens. So again, kind of a weakness that may get exposed. But again, if Purdy does not play, if Purdy and Trent, if the Niners who played last week play this week, the Bills should absolutely roll this team. So again, I think it all starts on first down. The Bills consistently win defensively on first down, force them into throwing the ball with Brandon Allen. If he plays, they should be good.
Absolutely. I'm excited. Should be a good game. Now, your X Factor. I did mention mine by name. You ready for this one? A little out of pocket.
Can I guess? Curtis Samuel?
No. As much as I think he will be an X Factor. I'm going with the barefoot toe guy, Mac Hollins. I think he's gonna have a day. I really do. I think he's gonna be kind of, their red zone merchant, if you will. He'll catch a couple big deep passes. I think at the end of the day, you're going to be like, oh, he's out here with no shoes on in the snow when the game ends. And, he's going to have maybe a couple touchdowns to his name. Mac Hollins. Who do you think? Who's your X Factor?
It's good. I'm going to go the man, the myth, the legend. Ed Oliver.
Oh.
I think Ed has a big X Factor. You could put Daquan Jones. You could put the entire interior defensive line for the Bills. Again, this is not a very strong interior offensive line they're going against, and it's going to be maybe snowy, hard to throw the ball. They're going to try to run the ball, establish the run, and if these DTs can be disruptors and really dominate up front, force the Niners into passing situations, maybe Big Ed gets himself a sack or two for the boys. Again, they have a weakness in the middle of their offensive line. McCaffrey hasn't quite looked right. They're going to try and run the ball, do some screens. I think it's going to be really important. Who knows? Maybe Austin Johnson gets his third interception of the year. Yeah.
Listen, big, thick pick. I'm all for it. I would love to see that again. Okay, so, the X Factors, they're X Factors. But at the end of the day, there's a king of the game, the MVP, if you will. My MVP for this game, James Cook. I think he just runs rampant on the the San Francisco defense. I think they, like you said, not Aaron Jones. That's the old Green Bay running back. Josh Jacobs had quite the day against them. And I think if they scheme James Cook correctly, do the right kind of runs with him, I think he's going to be all over the place and he'll get a couple touchdowns to his name. I think at the end of the day, James Cook's going to win the day.
It's a good one. I'm not going to pick a player. I think
you're just going. Are you going like defense or offense or something? What's happening here?
I'm going to pick a position group.
Okay.
I think the MVP of the game is going to be the offensive line. All five of them. I think they're going to create big holes for James Cook, Ray Davis, Ty Johnson, even Josh Allen in the running game. I think they're going to do a good job protecting Josh, keep a clean slate, no sacks. I think they're going to completely shut down the San Francisco defensive line. I think when we finish this game, after this game is over, we're going to say the Buffalo Bills won because their offensive line bullied the crap out of the San Francisco front for 3 hours on live television, national television. Bully
Natty TV. Yes.
Bully ball.
Bully ball.
As Peachin would say.
Yes, just too physical.
They don't want it.
No, they don't want it. They don't want to be out enough.
They're going to make him. What's going to be crazy is Mike Tirico's going to go to Chris Collinsworth and there's going to be a little pause in the action. You can't hear anything. And all of a sudden you're just going to hear the San Francisco 49ers defenders go, "Uncle, uncle, uncle."
Yeah, you're right. Your TVs are actually going to
pancake them.
Yes, your TV is actually going to flash across with a message saying your peer has conceded the game about halftime. So I think that's what's going to happen, and then you're going to be redirected to the main menu for next week. But I think I'm excited. I'm very confident in this team. I think they're going to do a good job. I think it'll be a good game for all Bills fans, and we might be looking at a 10-2 team by the time this is all said and done. So, can't really, can't complain. We're in a good spot.
Listen, I think they're 6 points favorites. I might actually have gone to 7. I think Vegas knows something about the Purdy injury. I don't think Vegas, if they didn't think, I don't know. This is a conspiracy, but if Vegas had any inkling that Purdy was going to play this week, I think this line would be 3.5, 4. Right? I don't think they would have the 6.5, 6, 7 number out there. So I think Vegas has that background information that what's it called? Purdy's probably going to miss this game, and that's why you could see the 7. It just makes sense. Why would they? Vegas always has some bet. Yeah,
they've got the insider tip. They got
buzz. There we go. I couldn't think of the word. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. They've got the. They're going to go. Your hunch means nothing to them because they've got the insider information. But I think we're in for a good matchup. It's time for the prediction. I think this is a bloodbath.
I'll give 2 predictions. I guess
okay. If Purdy plays, if Purdy doesn't play, predictions.
I'll protect myself in the fact because I think if Purdy plays, it's closer. So if Purdy plays, I'm not going to spend too much time on it because I don't think he is. But I'll go 27-20 if Purdy plays. I think he'll be around a 1-score game, but the Bills it's one of those situations where it's 27-17. The Niners kick a field goal late, go for the onside kick, don't make it. And it's it was really a double-digit game, but end up becoming 1 score. I think if Brandon Allen plays, I think we're going to get 34-10. I think the Bills, I don't know. If Purdy doesn't play, we don't Trent's not 100%. We know Fred Warner's not 100%. Nick Bosa, even if he plays, is not going to be 100%. Kittle's banged up, Debo's banged up. They're relying on Ricky Pearsall, who's a rookie. I don't know, man. I just think I think the Bills can really dominate this team up front. They have a massive, and they have Josh Allen. We have talked so much about this game. Oh, the offensive line, the defensive line. We have really not focused that much on Josh Allen, and I'm sorry, he's the best player on the field too. With all that, so I think they dominate and they win big at home. And they will clinch the AFC East.
I like it.
I think Green Bay helps. I
think Green Bay decimates Miami. I think that's how that game goes.
It's a fellow. What's it called? Small market team.
Yes. Small markets. If Purdy plays, 28-10. If he doesn't, 35-7. I don't think they get a lot of action even with Purdy playing. I get it. He's a little more mobile. He's able to kind of keep the team in games by himself. He's kind of Mr. Irrelevant somehow is doing that, right? He's become very good at it, and he's a solid NFL quarterback. But I think the Bills' defense is just going to prove to be too physical, too much for them either way, with Purdy or without. So Give me the Bills by a billion anyway, no matter what we end up with here. But any closing remarks before we get to our holidays here?
Nope. Happy holidays to everyone. Really rooting hard for my fantasy team to whoop yours this week in the Dynasty League.
I know. Now you're 2 games back from mine, 2.5. It could get interesting here. You got to get back to within a game.
We shall see.
We shall see. It's going to be a close one. But without further ado, that's going to do it for this edition of the Buffalonian Podcast, betting on the Bills. Happy Thanksgiving. Eat lots of turkey or whatever you eat on Thanksgiving. Some people do things differently. To each their own, but eat a lot, enjoy, and get some Black Friday shopping done. What'd you say?
Stuffing is the MVP and turkey is overrated.
Stuffing is the MVP. Turkey is definitely the side dish for me. Okay, we have to have this conversation before we sign off. Okay.
We do have enough time. We have
plenty of time. Yeah. We built in a little bit of Thanksgiving talk at the end without even realizing it. So turkey's definitely the side. Mashed potatoes and stuffing are the MVPs for me.
I'm never a big mashed potato guy.
Really?
I only like French fries. It's weird.
Are you really?
I can't. I guess I like potato chips. I guess that counts as well.
I guess so, but I
don't
only like French fries.
Yeah, I don't eat sweet potatoes. Stuffing is amazing.
I'm not a big yams guy. I'm not a big sweet potato guy. I like it, but sweet potatoes to me get with the butter and honey and cinnamon kind of pushed towards the dessert. Like that's a little like I don't want that with my dinner.
Your mouth, your plate.
It's a little sweet. Palate. My palate's a little too sweet for me. I don't know. I smell dessert when I smell that. You know.
I do have to say, my grandma Nanny, she makes the best devil eggs of all time. Like it's just like you have her devil eggs. You know she does a good job. You know, mixing all the yolks together, the mayonnaise, you know, puts in the egg very nicely, has a little olive on top, you know, as a little decorator. And then you try like store-bought ones and they're trash. It's like,
yeah, any store-bought deviled egg I feel like is risky. It's like
part of it's cold and like some of it's lukewarm and it's like, what is going on?
Yeah. Yeah, they've been sitting in the back on the shipping crates for 3 months.
I do just say though, I'm a big apple pie guy. I just have a big apple pie. I don't really love like pie. I just like eating like the caramelized apples.
I like that. I like when the apple pie has a nice little cinnamon crumble on the top too. When that's all baked in.
Pumpkins, no.
Pumpkin's all right. I'm going to be honest with you. I've had like a pumpkin spice pound cake instead of a pumpkin pie, and I'd much rather have that than a pumpkin pie. But I'm trying to think of another dessert. I feel like it's a pretty. I'm anti cranberry sauce.
What about gravy?
I put gravy on stuff. Sometimes, like with stuffing, depending on what kind of stuffing it is, you need a little thing to moisten it up a little bit.
So, what would your ideal meat be then for Thanksgiving? I think turkey is just really overrated.
Turkey's just really overrated and dry 90% of the time. Like I just sit there chewing on it like a piece of 5 gum for like 30 minutes, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like this is ridiculous. Oh, underrated Thanksgiving dish, real quick, while this is in my mind: green bean casserole. You ever had that?
No.
Oh, it's so I don't even know how to explain it. It's like cream of mushroom with green beans and like onion frizzles
Mushrooms
in it.
Are gross.
Well, it's like cream of mushroom. There's no actual mushrooms involved.
No,
it's like the soup.
You said mushroom. That it counts as mushroom.
All right, green bean casserole, goated.
Fruit salad's good.
What are you, the Wiggles?
Oh, really?
Yummy.
Yeah, it is good. I don't. You know what's good? Just regular old ice cream.
Yeah, I wouldn't complain about that. On a scoop of that on the apple pie isn't bad either.
I think if we missed any.
What were we talking about that was weird? Before I went off on the green bean casserole, what was the topic there?
Dang,
I'm lost. I lost it.
Pecan pie is not terrible. I actually do like a good pecan. You ever go to Shays and just get like the pecans?
Yeah, the honey crusted ones or whatever.
Yeah, dude, those are so good. Oh my God.
Honey roasted. I have a big jar of honey roasted peanuts. Those are always good too. But
my mom and myself made our typical snack.
What was that?
Now I gotta say the name was before. It's been there for called white trash, but it's basically you can get like 9 cups of Chex. Like just a cereal. Chex.
I know what that is. Yeah, that's
you
good.
Get a couple cups of peanuts, a couple cup pretzels. God, am I missing anything? Chex, peanuts, pretzels. I feel like I'm missing something. Whatever. and then you just pretty much put that all in a bowl. You get some white chocolate wafers. You melt it in the microwave. You put it on top. You scoop it around, and then you got a bowl of just delicious goodness.
Yes, and when it hardens up, it's good too. You put M&Ms in there and all that.
Oh, you could put M&Ms in there, dude. Yeah, I do see people do that. Oh, you know what's really good? I don't know if we're making them this year. Ooh, think about sweets. We didn't talk anything about cookies. Pizzelles, dude. Pizzelles are so good.
Well, for 2 Italian families, yeah, of course, pizzelles are so good. I mean,
can I say I'm not a big cannoli guy? I know we're Italian and we can't I don't know if we're allowed to say that.
I'm not a big ricotta cheese guy. So dude, that makes sense. Yeah, like even lasagna. Like here's a brand deal. I don't even care. Pizza Plant, or as you say, Planet around here. Calzones I hate so much because of the ricotta cheese on the inside. It just overpowers everything. Like it's so too bad. Much. And a pod is what they've introduced, and it's just a folded pizza, and it's phenomenal. Like why does a calzone have to have that? It's like a calzone without ricotta cheese, and I could not be happier.
But yeah, you say it.
Why? It's how my grandpa says it. I've just learned to say it. Ricotta. It's how someone says ricotta to me. I'm just like, yikes. But no. Thanksgiving. Have a happy Thanksgiving. We're gonna wrap it up here. I'm getting hungry. So
is stuffing your number one? My stuffing is my number one. What's yours?
See, I'm a big. It's tough for me. Stuffing's definitely 1, mashed potatoes 2. But here's what I do. I get a duality going between the two. I take a fork full of stuffing, dip it in mashed potatoes and gravy, and I eat it all at once.
Double dip to everyone else.
No, I'm not.
That is a party foul.
It's on my own plate, Dom.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm not just scooping it into mashed potatoes in the middle of the bowl, in the middle of the table. You know me. I'm anti-double dip. Come on.
Yeah, there's some people in our friend group that are pro double dip.
And we'll never be pro them to say that, but that's going to do it for this edition of the Buffalonian Podcast, betting on the Bills, Thanksgiving edition. Have a happy holiday, everybody. Stuff your bellies. We'll be back with you next week. Have a good Bills game, too. Dom, how do we always end these, buddy?
Go Bills, baby.
Go Bills, 2024 AFC East Division champions after this week.